Hey there, cool cats and kittens. It's your boy, Abhishek Solanki, here to take you on a wild ride through the wacky, wonderful world of Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah, you heard that right. Those two knuckleheads finally shared the screen, and trust me, it was just as epic and chaotic as you'd imagine. So get ready for some mind-blowing facts, behind-the-scenes shenanigans, and maybe even a chimichanga recipe or two. Though my lawyer says I should probably clear that with legal first. Hit that play button, crank up the volume, and let's dive into the mayhem. Alright amigos, before we get to the on-screen shenanigans, let's rewind back to where it all began. The glorious, gutter-filled pages of Marvel Comics. Picture this. 1994, the height of grunge, dial-up internet, and Wolverine sporting a truly majestic mane of hair. Enter Deadpool, a wisecracking mercenary with a healing factor to rival Wolverine's and a penchant for breaking the fourth wall like it's made of cheap drywall. Their first encounter? Let's just say it involved a lot of explosions, witty banter, and enough spandex to make Richard Simmons blush. They say opposites attract, and these two were like a match made in, well, not heaven, more like a slightly sticky booth at a Chuck E. Cheese after a particularly rowdy birthday party. Wolverine, the gruff, brooding loner, and Deadpool, the hyperactive, attention-seeking goofball. It was a recipe for disaster, or at least a whole lot of hilarious chaos. And boy did they deliver. Their comic book battles were legendary, a whirlwind of blades, bullets, and enough one-liners to make Arnold Schwarzenegger jealous. But beneath all the mayhem, there was a grudging respect, a sort of twisted camaraderie that kept them coming back for more, even if it meant driving each other absolutely bonkers in the process. So, how did this dynamic duo translate to the big screen? Well, imagine all the over-the-top action and hilarious banter of their comic book escapades, then crank it up to 11 and add a generous helping of CGI explosions, and you're starting to get the picture. The movie took their love-hate relationship to a whole new level, with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, those handsome devils, perfectly capturing the chaotic energy and snarky camaraderie that made these characters so iconic. Now you might be thinking, Ryan, you beautiful witty genius, what is it about this unlikely pairing that works so well? And to that I say, my dear viewer, you're even more perceptive than I am handsome, which is truly saying something. See, the beauty of Deadpool and Wolverine's relationship lies in its sheer absurdity. It's a classic case of can't live with them, can't skewer them with katanas and adamantium claws without a healthy dose of witty banter. They're like the dysfunctional family you never knew you wanted to be a part of. Constantly bickering, pranking and trying to one-up each other, yet always having each other's backs when it really counts. Wolverine, the grizzled veteran, is constantly exasperated by Deadpool's antics, his patience tested with every fourth wall break and inappropriate joke. But beneath that gruff exterior, there's a begrudging fondness, a recognition of the twisted kindred spirit that lies beneath Deadpool's mask. And Deadpool, well, he's like that annoying little brother who's always pushing your buttons but whom you can't help but love, even when he's driving you absolutely insane. He idolizes Wolverine, constantly seeking his approval and validation, even as he simultaneously mocks and undermines him at every turn. It's a dynamic that's both hilarious and heartwarming, a reminder that even the most unlikely of friendships can thrive amidst chaos and carnage. They're a testament to the power of brotherhood, even if that brotherhood involves a lot of explosions, sarcastic comments, and the occasional accidental stabbing. But their relationship goes beyond just the laughs. It also provides a fascinating contrast in personalities and fighting styles. Wolverine, the stoic warrior, relies on his brute strength and animalistic instincts, while Deadpool's fighting style is more chaotic and unpredictable, a whirlwind of acrobatics, weaponry, and sheer unadulterated insanity. This contrast extends to their personalities as well. Wolverine is the strong, silent type, a man of action who'd rather let his claws do the talking. Deadpool, on the other hand, never shuts up. His mouth a constant stream of pop culture references, innuendos, and self-aware commentary. Together, they create a dynamic that's both entertaining and engaging, keeping the audience on the edge of their seats wondering what crazy antics they'll get up to next. And trust me, when it comes to Deadpool and Wolverine, you can always expect the unexpected. Now let's talk about the men behind the masks, the dynamic duo who brought these iconic characters to life. Hugh Jackman, the Aussie hunk with a heart of gold and biceps the size of watermelons, and Ryan Reynolds, the Canadian national treasure with a wit sharper than Wolverine's claws and a self-deprecating humor that could make even the most stoic superhero crack a smile. Preparing for these roles was no walk in the park, especially for Hugh. Dude practically lived at the gym, pumping iron and chugging protein shakes like they were going out of style. He even went on a strict chicken and broccoli diet, which, let's be honest, sounds like my own personal version of hell. But hey, the results speak for themselves. Wolverine's physique is nothing short of legendary, and Hugh's dedication to the role is a big part of what made it so iconic. Ryan, on the other hand, had a slightly different approach. Sure, he hit the gym and worked on his agility to pull off Deadpool's acrobatic fighting style, but for him, the real preparation was all about getting into the character's twisted headspace. He spent hours studying Deadpool's mannerisms, his speech patterns, and his unique brand of humor. He even hired a team of comedy writers to help him improvise new jokes and one-liners on set. But the real magic happened when these two titans of acting shared the screen. They fed off each other's energy, creating a dynamic that was both hilarious and believable. They understood the characters inside and out, and they brought that understanding to every scene, every line, every sarcastic quip. The result was a cinematic bromance for the ages, a testament to the power of great acting and the importance of casting actors who truly embody the spirit of the characters they're portraying. And let's be honest, could you imagine anyone else playing these roles? I mean, besides me, of course, but hey, a guy can dream, right? Now, I know what you're thinking. Ryan, you glorious bastard. You've talked about the actors, the characters, the comics, but what about the explosions, the fight scenes, the mind-blowing special effects that make this movie a visual feast for the senses? And to that I say, patience, my friend, all will be revealed. Because this chapter is all about the magic behind the movie, the unsung heroes who work tirelessly behind the scenes to bring this superhero showdown to life. First up, let's talk about the stunt team, those fearless daredevils who risk life and limb so that actors like me, and Hugh, I guess, can look good on camera. These guys are the real deal, trained professionals who can flip, fight, and fall from great heights without breaking a sweat, or at least not letting it show. They spent weeks choreographing the fight scenes, making sure every punch, kick, and sword swipe looked as realistic and badass as possible. Then there's the visual effects team, the wizards of the digital realm who can make the impossible look effortlessly real. They're the ones responsible for bringing Deadpool's healing factor to life, creating Wolverine's iconic claws, and rendering those epic explosions that make Michael Bay jealous. Don't tell him I said that. They spent countless hours in front of their computers, painstakingly crafting every detail to make sure the special effects blended seamlessly with the live-action footage. But the real unsung heroes of any superhero movie? The costume designers. These talented individuals are responsible for creating the iconic looks that define these characters, from Wolverine's classic yellow and blue suit to Deadpool's red and black armor. They spent months researching fabrics, sketching designs, and making sure every detail was just right. And let's be honest, they had their work cut out for them with Deadpool's suit. I mean, have you ever tried to make spandex look menacing? It's not easy, folks. So the next time you're watching a superhero movie, take a moment to appreciate the incredible work that goes on behind the scenes. From the stunt performers to the visual effects artists to the costume designers, it takes a village of talented individuals to bring these larger-than-life characters to the big screen. Now let's dive into the world of what-ifs and almost wheres with a juicy tidbit about a deleted scene that would have left you gasping for air and possibly reaching for the rewind button. Picture this. Wolverine, battered and bruised after an epic battle, stumbles into a dingy bar, desperate for a stiff drink and some peace and quiet, but fate, it seems, has other plans. Because sitting at the bar, nursing a glass of what can only be described as questionable whiskey, is none other than Wade Wilson pre-Deadpool, looking surprisingly normal with a full head of hair and a face untouched by scarring. They exchange a look, a flicker of recognition passing between them, a silent acknowledgement of their shared history, a history that Wolverine would rather forget. What follows is a tense conversation, a battle of words fought with whiskey shots and thinly veiled threats. We see a glimpse of Wade's trademark wit, even in his pre-Deadpool state, but there's an edge to it, a darkness that hints at the chaos that's to come. Wolverine, ever the stoic warrior, tries to ignore him, but Wade's relentless banter and probing questions chip away at his gruff exterior. The scene would have revealed a key piece of their shared past, a mission gone wrong that left Wade scarred and seeking revenge, a revenge that would ultimately lead him to become the Merc, with a mouth we all know and love, and fear just a little bit. It would have added a whole new layer of complexity to their relationship, showcasing the tragic origins of Deadpool's vendetta against Wolverine. So why was it cut? Well, some say it was deemed too dark, too revealing for a superhero movie that thrived on humor and action. Others whisper that it simply didn't fit the overall tone of the film. Whatever the reason, it remains a tantalizing what-if, a glimpse into a parallel universe where the Deadpool and Wolverine we know took a slightly different path. Now, for all you die-hard X-Men fans out there, you know that the mutant universe is a tangled web of timelines, alternate realities, and enough continuity errors to make even the most dedicated comic book scholar scratch their head in confusion. But fear not, because this chapter is all about unraveling the mystery of how Deadpool and Wolverine's cinematic escapade fits into the grand tapestry of the X-Men franchise. Think of the X-Men universe like a giant pizza. Bear with me, folks. Each movie is a slice, connected to the whole but with its own unique toppings and flavors. Deadpool and Wolverine's movie is like that slice with all the meats, extra cheese, and a sprinkle of pineapple for good measure. Don't judge my pizza preferences. It's a wild ride, packed with action, humor, and enough fourth-wall breaks to make your head spin. But here's the thing. While it stands on its own as a hilarious and action-packed adventure, it also subtly connects to the larger X-Men narrative. Remember that whole thing about Wolverine trying to escape his past, to bury the memories of his Weapon X days? Well, this movie throws a wrench in those plans, forcing him to confront his demons, both literally and figuratively, alongside a certain wisecracking mercenary. The movie also introduces new characters and plot threads that could have major implications for the future of the X-Men franchise. It's like planting seeds, hinting at possibilities without giving too much away. It's a delicate dance, balancing standalone storytelling with franchise building, and this movie pulls it off with style. So, while you don't need a PhD in X-Men lore to enjoy this cinematic roller coaster, paying attention to the subtle nods and winks to the larger universe only enhances the experience. It's like finding hidden Easter eggs, little rewards for those who know where to look. And trust me, when it comes to the X-Men universe, there are always more secrets to uncover. Alright folks, time for a game of Did You Catch That? Remember that scene in the movie where? Yeah, the one with the, well, hold on to your hats, because that seemingly random extra in the background is actually... That's right folks, for a fleeting moment, the one and only graced us with their presence, adding a touch of star power to an already star-studded cast. Now I know what you're thinking, Ryan, you magnificent son of a gun, how did I miss that? And to that I say, don't beat yourself up about it, my friend. This cameo was so quick, so subtle, that it would make even the most eagle-eyed viewer question their sanity. But here's the thing, once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's like one of those optical illusions where you stare at it long enough and suddenly, bam, the hidden image reveals itself, and you're left wondering how you could have missed it in the first place. Now, some might say it's just a throwaway gag, a blink and you'll miss it moment designed to reward the most dedicated fans. But I like to think there's more to it than that. I like to believe that it's a subtle hint, a breadcrumb on a trail leading to a much larger conspiracy, a conspiracy that involves... Okay, maybe that's a bit far-fetched, even for me. But hey, a guy can dream, right? Besides, it's always fun to speculate, to imagine the possibilities, to dive headfirst into the rabbit hole of fan theories and emerge on the other side, blinking in the sunlight, wondering how much time has passed, and if we're all just figments of Stan Lee's imagination. Hold on to your chimichangas, folks, because this chapter is all about the seismic waves of excitement, adoration, and the occasional head-scratching confusion that rippled across the globe when Deadpool and Wolverine slashed their way onto the silver screen. Let's start with the critics, those discerning connoisseurs of cinema who wield their words like adamantium claws, ready to dissect and analyze every frame with a mixture of wit and wisdom, and sometimes a healthy dose of cynicism. Surprisingly, even the most jaded critics couldn't resist the charms of our favorite dysfunctional duo. The reviews poured in, praising the film's sharp writing, its over-the-top action sequences, and the undeniable chemistry between Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. Words like hilarious, action-packed, and surprisingly heartwarming were thrown around like confetti at a superhero wedding. But the real testament to the film's success? The fans. Oh, the fans. They flocked to theaters in droves, eager to witness the long-awaited team-up of two of Marvel's most iconic characters. They laughed, they cheered, they cried. Okay, maybe not cried, but they definitely shed a tear or two of joy. Social media exploded with fan art, memes, and glowing reviews, praising everything from the film's witty dialogue to its surprisingly heartfelt moments. It was a love fest of epic proportions. Proof that when it comes to superhero movies, sometimes all you need is a healthy dose of humor, action, and two incredibly handsome leading men to win over the hearts of millions. But the love for Deadpool and Wolverine wasn't confined to just one corner of the globe. Oh no, my friends. This was a global phenomenon. From the bustling streets of Tokyo to the sun-drenched beaches of Rio, audiences around the world embraced the film with open arms and wallets. It proved that laughter, action, and the universal language of superhero shenanigans transcend cultural boundaries. It was a reminder that no matter where you're from, what language you speak, or what kind of pizza toppings you prefer, we can all agree that watching Deadpool and Wolverine trade barbs and blows on the big screen is a recipe for pure cinematic bliss. Now let's talk legacy, baby. Because Deadpool and Wolverine's cinematic explosion wasn't just a one-hit wonder, it left a crater-sized impact on the superhero movie landscape, changing the game for both characters and paving the way for a whole new wave of R-rated comic book adaptations. Before Deadpool came along, superhero movies were pretty much PG-13 territory, all shiny spandex and family-friendly action. But Ryan Reynolds, that beautiful maverick genius, decided to break the mold, to push the boundaries of what a superhero movie could be. And boy, did it pay off. Deadpool's success proved that audiences were hungry for something different, something edgier, something that embraced the inherent absurdity of a world where grown adults dress up in costumes and fight crime, or, in Deadpool's case, cause it. It opened the floodgates for a new wave of R-rated superhero movies, like Logan and Joker, proving that comic book adaptations didn't have to be sanitized for mass consumption. But it wasn't just the rating that made an impact. Deadpool's self-aware humor, its willingness to break the fourth wall and poke fun at itself, became a trademark of the character and influenced a whole generation of superhero movies. Suddenly it was okay for superheroes to be funny, to be self-deprecating, to acknowledge the absurdity of their own existence. And what about Wolverine? Well, this movie gave him a fitting send-off, a chance to embrace his gruff, badass persona one last time before riding off into the sunset, or, whatever happens to immortal mutants. It reminded audiences why they fell in love with the character in the first place. His gruff exterior, his unwavering loyalty, and his willingness to fight for what he believes in, even if it means going against the grain. So the next time you're watching a superhero movie that embraces its R rating or throws in a meta joke or two, remember the movie that paved the way, the movie that dared to be different, the movie that proved that sometimes the best superhero stories are the ones that aren't afraid to get a little messy. Alright, true believers, we've reached the final chapter, the post-credits scene that left audiences buzzing with excitement and scratching their heads in equal measure. Remember that scene after the credits rolled? The one where, yeah, that one. What does it mean? What's the significance? Is it a hint at a sequel, a spin-off, or just a hilarious throwaway gag? Well, my friends, that's the beauty of a good post-credits scene. It's open to interpretation, a Rorschach test for superhero fans, a chance to speculate and theorize to our heart's content. Some say it's a direct reference to, while others believe it's a subtle nod to. The truth is, only time will tell what the future holds for Deadpool and Wolverine, but one thing's for sure. That post-credits scene has us all on the edge of our seats, eagerly awaiting the next chapter in their chaotic and hilarious saga. But hey, who needs a confirmed sequel when we have the power of imagination? Let's be honest, half the fun of being a superhero fan is coming up with our own theories, imagining the possibilities, and debating them endlessly with our fellow geeks. So go forth, my friends, and let your imaginations run wild. What do you think that post-credits scene means? What adventures await Deadpool and Wolverine? Share your thoughts, your theories, your wildest dreams in the comments below. So there you have it, folks. 10 mind-blowing facts about Deadpool and Wolverine that'll have you questioning everything you thought you knew about everyone's favorite dysfunctional duo. But hey, don't take my word for it. Go watch the movie, read the comics, and then come back here and tell me I'm wrong. Just kidding, please don't, my ego is fragile enough as it is. Until next time, stay classy, stay safe, and always remember, with great power comes great responsibility to make inappropriate jokes and break the fourth wall as often as possible. Peace out, Cub Scouts.